Mighty morning to you guys. What's going on, everybody? A good morning if you're watching us live. Welcome to Mighty Mornings. This is episode 14. This is the season finale recap. Just like our favorite cartoons, it had to end during the summer and then it'll come back in the fall. We're going to do the same thing. So, this is our season finale. We're going to talk about all the shows that we did during this season and kind of pick our favorites, the ones that we really liked, and maybe the ones we really didn't like that much, but we still talked about it because it was a good show for a lot of people. I got to bring in my friend. I can't do this alone. He doesn't like soggy cereals at all. He gets really cranky. So here he is. Yeah, there he is. He doesn't like soggy cereals at all.
Gross.
Who does?
No.
Does anybody you know like soggy cereals?
No, but I have heard that there are people out there who like it to get soggy, and they're probably in
These
their
crazy,
80s.
mad, homicidal people.
They're in their 80s. They can't choose, so I kind of get it.
In their 80s. Should they be eating cereal then?
You know, all I'm going to say is it's called oatmeal.
Oh, that's not cereal. Come on.
That's considered...
That's cheating. That's cheating. That's a health hack.
You know what? In 5 years, when you get to that age, let me know.
I'll let you know now. I can't eat cereal for the life of me. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't eat that much sugar anymore. Like chocolate bars, things like that. I'm not into that as much as I used to be as a kid. I mean, not because my dentist scared the life out of me, but still, like sugary drinks, I reduced that as well. But I do like that flavor, like Snapple, stuff like that. Iced tea, I'm into that, and I know.
Is that even still around?
Yeah, they're even.
Oh my god,
they have bigger bottles now too. It's like a big gulp.
Honestly, I think for myself, the reason why I enjoy cereal is because obviously I enjoyed it while I was growing up.
Oh, who didn't?
But also, like, I enjoy it now. Like, on my days off, I will get a box of cereal and have it as a snack. And I think the reason why is it's such a childhood memory. And also, buying the cereal that I want, I actually get to have instead of my parents buying freaking Rice Krispies. I'm like, oh, that's not fun.
I remember I used to hate my parents. They used to buy cornflakes.
And the funny thing is, when we were kids, we wanted the sugary cereal, like the Lucky Charms. Now,
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. I actually enjoy cornflakes once in a while.
Now or when you were a kid?
Now.
Yeah, now it's fine because, we have to obviously reduce the sugar as we get older. Well, we try. And cornflakes is more. Sometimes when I used to eat cornflakes in my late 20s, I was like, this does have a lot of sugar in it. Like, if you look at it.
Okay, if anyone who's watching, because cereal was a big part of my Saturday morning cartoons, if you don't know the history of cornflakes, go watch it.
We should do a rank of cornflakes when we come back next season.
I'm just happy I haven't had to indulge in all brand cereal.
Jeez.
How
about Shreddies? Remember Shreddies? No offense to anybody out there that loves these cereals, okay? Where you do you, okay?
Thankfully, I don't have to keep it regular just yet. So
I would just rather drink diluted milk at this point.
Ew.
Right? Like, if I'm gonna have to eat Shreddies, no thanks. I'll just drink the milk. I'm good.
But did you ever have to get like the crappy cereals that had no?
What do you mean? I came from a poverty family, immigrant family,
where
I had to eat Superstore no-name brand cereal at times.
Remember sprinkling sugar on like Cheerios?
I did that on cornflakes because my parents wouldn't give me Frosted Flakes because it cost $1 more. And they got the value box, the giant box that would last you for a year. And they're like, here, eat this for a year. Let me know when it's empty, right? So I used to just sprinkle sugar around and pretend it's Frosted Flakes because essentially that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
There's more sugar just caked on the cornflakes, right? And yeah, that was my Frosted Flakes in the morning. I mean, Jesus. I was just thinking about how much sugar I put on that bowl. Like if I did that today, I'd be in a coma, right? Like,
Well, it's funny because like at the end of the time you're done that box of cereal, your parents are probably like, "Why the hell are we going through so much sugar?" So it's like,
oh yeah.
is it better to just buy the sugary
I know that's the
cereal
funny part.
or
Is my
like
parents never did math. They didn't realize how much me and my sister would sprinkle sugars on our cereal. And if you just do the math, sugar was expensive. It still is today for a
yeah.
pound of sugar or whatever it is that you buy at your store. And I was just like, just pay for the dollar more cereal. It would just save you guys so much trouble, right?
And then you
Because my
get down
mom used to drink a lot of tea, and she
right.
liked her sugar in her tea. And I mean, Indian teas, it's like candy, right? So
Uh,
I got that from her. Like I drink a lot of tea as well. I'm not a huge coffee guy. I'm a tea guy, but she would get so mad. She'd go reach for the sugar, and she would like hit the bottom of the bowl, but there's no sugar left, right? And she'd be like, "Who took all the sugar? I just literally filled it up last week, right?" I'm like, me, I guess." Right? I'd always take the bullet for my sister too, right?
uh,
She was only like 3 years old, 4 years old, right? So,
that's when
but
you blame it on them because you know the parents aren't going to get mad at the younger one.
she can't go and reach the sugar bowl. They know me, so. But it was all right. I had a,
Yes.
I did what I could with as a kid for what I had, and I was happy. I was content. I was happy, and that's the most important thing. Is like kids can easily be happy if you just knock on a couple of things for them, and then they'll just be fine.
Yeah.
I have two boys of my own, and I remember just they would just rather sit. My son had this giant tub where you fill toys in it, and he would just sit in there and watch his cartoons. He
Mhm.
wouldn't sit on the couch. He wouldn't sit on anything nice, a chair. And you just give him his toy, his TV, and he was good. He's like, I'm good. I'm happy.
Hey, remember when we were kids? I never had one, but you could buy those little foam uh,
Yes.
chairs. And
Yes.
so, like, Saturday would come on, the kids would sit on the floors. I would sit on the floor, but I never had one of those. But
I
it's,
remember friends of mine having that, or relatives of mine, their kids having that because they had the bling bling. And I would just be so like shocked. I was like, wow, you got a custom couch for yourself? That's awesome.
it was
I,
smart marketing because they were
oh, yeah.
putting like G.I. Joe, Transformers on them, and
Barbie. Yeah.
uh, everything.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Make the money. I used to drool over the kids that had the Jeep. Remember the like motorized vehicles? I used to drool over that so much. I never got one as a kid, never had one. It was just
No.
too expensive for my family to buy one for me. But I just remember like going to someone's house and they would have that, like a birthday party I go to, and they would have that. I'm like, oh my God, like you got an actual Jeep in your house? This is crazy. Let
I'm
me get
like,
in here.
how bad is that? Like, especially living in Vancouver, it's like you'll give a kid a car, but in our sense of Vancouver, you'll give an adult a car to drive. Who drives better? And I know it's not the adult.
Yeah, wow. We got to be careful here when we're driving around in traffic. Got to be
Oh,
defensive,
God.
protect ourselves.
I wish they'd bring back big wheels. Remember those?
Yes,
Yeah.
big wheels are awesome. Let's talk about our show. It's our season finale. It's a
Yes.
bittersweet moment.
Well,
But
we'll be back.
oh yeah, we'll be back. It's a season finale, not a show finale here. So we'll be back after Labor Day weekend, and we'll resume like we are. We're gonna have things planned that we might add to the show. We'll do some fun stuff. We're gonna go to the drawing board in the summer and see what we can cook up for the fall season. We're gonna try to mirror ourselves what our average typical cartoon was for us when we were a kid, where it played throughout the fall, winter, and spring, and then it would take a break in the summer and come back again in the fall. So we're gonna follow that kind of guideline and do that. And what we want to do is ask people who are watching this, who watch any of our shows, to come watch us either live or on the replay and give your feedback of what else you would like us to dive into from our past. We want to hit the nostalgia button real hard. So let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Give us some ideas, give topics. Feedback is so important to us, and we read them all. Trust me, whether it be positive or negative, we read them all. We're not perfect, but we will aim to be
Well,
your
maybe
perfect.
not you.
Good morning, Darth. Hail to A&R, he says. We need our own logo too, right? Popcorn Chicken's got their logo. We need a Mighty Mouse logo. Oh, sorry, a Mighty Morning Mouse logo. No copyright here.
I let's let's do a child crazy holding a bowl of cereal, and because that's what Mighty Mornings is. It's not just a mouse.
Well, that's our logo. I meant for the top corner, our logo.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
A&R logo is in the top right corner here. We'll get a Mighty Mouse, Mighty Morning Mouse logo on the top right corner. We'll get our resident expert to cook something up for us.
I'm messaging D now. Like, come on, D, get with the program.
If you're watching this, D, it was Chris's idea. It wasn't mine.
It was your idea to put the logo on the screen.
Behind the cameras, he was forcing me to say that.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna shoot off the list of what we did, like what are the shows we talked about, and then we'll get into kind of our favorites. All right, here we go. So here's the list in no particular order. We
Actually, it is in order.
Is it
bottom to top?
Oh, okay. First. All right. Look at you. Look at you.
I know what I'm doing.
You are. I never said you weren't.
Listen, I'm not just a beautiful, sexiest man alive face.
GQ would concur with that as well. So here's the list in particular order now, in Christopher's orders. We did He-Man first, Gummy Bears, King Arthur, Reboot. I wasn't there for Reboot, right? You had Michael.
I wasn't here for King Arthur.
Oh, were you not?
No.
That was me by myself?
Yeah. I watched the beginning of the episode. I'm like, oh, yeah, there was an episode that I missed because I was working.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're doing overtime. Or you're working for somebody. Yes. Okay, I remember that now. Okay. And then Reboot, you did it with Michael and Justin or Michael and Chris?
Just the other Michael.
Chris. Okay, it was just Michael? Okay. So Reboot, and then we did Transformers, DuckTale, X-Men. You giggled when you did X-Men. TMNT, Captain Planet, Scooby-Doo, Inspector Gadget, and then we finished it off with G.I. Joe. So not a bad haul of shows we did in our first season. You know, no. I think this is a great spread throughout the cartoon spectrum. It's something for everybody. Oh, you know what? You missed one.
Did I? Which one?
And it's one of your favorite. Gem.
I did not. Okay, something must have happened because I went back to look at everything and I didn't see that one.
Oh, but I remembered.
Yeah,
not too shabby for this guy.
Hey, you know what? Maybe it was like that episode when I was talking about it, and then I don't know what happened with my computer, and I just went MIA.
I remember one thing I did. I did a big boo boo, and I'm really, really sorry about it to people. I called Gem and the Holocaust.
Oh my god!
I meant hologram. I don't know why my brain went to there, and I like I said, I think Cowabunga dude called me out and he's like, "Hey, that's a totally different show, but I'd be interested in hearing about that." I was like, "No, that's not what I meant."
Terrible,
so if you do want to go watch that show and have a good laugh of me just totally butchering it, go ahead, watch that. But
and Gem, FYI, nothing is funny about the Holocaust.
No, I didn't say it was funny. I was just saying that I was ridiculous in saying it. I was a goofball for saying it. So laugh on my account of getting it all wrong, totally wrong. I'm glad that though people weren't taking it too seriously, because in the chat somebody just like in the feedback below in our video that said totally different show, but probably be interested in watching that. And I'm just like, oops. But yeah, so Gem, I don't know where it falls. I think it's right after He-Man. I think it is. It's one
Yeah,
of the earlier shows that we did.
It definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that show is huge for you. That's why I remembered. I'm like, hey, wait, your show is missing here, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm 99.9% perfect now.
A little shade off. Okay, let's talk about. Okay, let's be honest here. We don't love every single show on this list because everybody has their own taste, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that we hate the show or we think the show is bad. It's just it's not our flavor, right? Everybody has flavors they love. Some like cherry, some like Coke, some like to mix them both, right? So why are you looking at me weird?
I don't like Coke.
Okay, well, okay, fine. What do you like?
I'm not. I feel like I just needed to insert that meme where that monkey's like, okay.
Yeah. Looking back and forth to the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Okay. Your least favorite from the list. And be honest.
Honestly, not necessarily my least favorite. My least one that captured my attention would have had to be Transformers.
Oh,
not
dagger to the heart.
Here's the thing. It's not that I didn't like it. I just never got into it.
I thought you'd be a big fan of Transformers.
I am. But I think
more than meets the eye. More than meets the eye.
I think that came at a later time in my life when I was like,
when you were transforming into a different.
It's not transforming, it's blossoming. You should know
sorry.
this by now. But I felt like
that's what the female Autobots call it, right? It's blossoming.
That came in at a later date when I was captured into Beast Wars.
Okay.
Because at the time, we'll
talk about Beast Wars, of course, next season.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts for anybody, but
yeah, it just wasn't my okay, I need to watch it show. So
it's in the background, cool. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. My least favorite show. Not that I never watched it. I watched all of these shows. Inspector Gadget. I actually watched Gem more than I watched Inspector Gadget.
I actually thought you were gonna choose Gem.
No, you know why? Because Gem used to come on before Transformers when I was in the afternoons, and sometimes in the mornings when I was a kid. So I watched Gem because I'm like, hey, I'm here. I might as well just watch it. What do I got?
Yes, right? It's so unfortunate that you got to watch Gem.
Anyways, moving on. Inspector Gadget is at the bottom of my list. I enjoyed some of the episodes, but I wasn't like a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
Darth says my least favorite is the one I've never seen or heard of. Okay, well, Darth, I'm going to run off a list here, and you tell me which one you think that would be your least favorite. G.I. Joe, Inspector Gadget, Scooby-Doo, Captain Planet, Turtles, TMNT Animation, X-Men, DuckTales, Transformers, Reboot, King Arthur, Gummy Bears, He-Man, and Gem.
I've never... Well, he's putting his answer in there. I never knew about King Arthur.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't a show that was... It wasn't a show that was long into the cycle of cartoons. It was like, I think maybe 3 years max, and then it was just gone. It wasn't as popular with a lot of people. Like I don't know, like for me, that's my jam. I love Knights and King Arthur Tales is my favorite. So Yeah, so I don't know. A lot of people didn't like it. I just love the idea of going back in time and getting magical powers. It was just a good twist on King Arthur lore. What? You've never heard of Gem and Reboot? No, you spell gem. It's Gem, like gemstones. So
It's close enough.
yeah, it's fine. Reboot? How do you not know about Reboot? It was so iconic at its time. I
Yeah,
really
that
wish I was there for that show. I think I was in Vegas at that time or something like that.
you're in Vegas during reboot.
No. During the show when you guys talked about Reboot.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Reboot was definitely one of my favorite cartoons
Mhm.
in my early tweens. It was the biggest cartoon because it was a computer generated one.
Mhm.
And the thing that I loved about that show is as the seasons progressed, the animation got better and better.
Mhm.
And it's funny because, we move so quickly with technology in this world we live in. And to see how fast the animation evolved for computer was quite amazing.
Oh yeah, no, we're not saying that you dislike them. We're
Yeah.
just shocked that you never heard of them. That's all.
Yeah.
And like we said, everybody has their own flavors, right? So we're not, saying that you should have watched or anything like that. We're just saying that this was they were pretty big shows in our era, and maybe we're a bit or not a bit. We are older than Darth, I presume. Um, so
Only by a year.
from the others I've seen and know, King Arthur is my Darth, you're hurting my heart here. But okay, my I'm gonna go with my favorite here, and then you can do your favorite as well from
Okay.
the list. I'm gonna go with Transformers. I grew up with this thing. How do I not put it as my favorite? My first
Yeah.
figures that I collected were Transformers, so I got to go with the grassroots. How about you?
So I'm gonna go with the favorite that I started out with, which is my very first cartoon that I remember would be. Oh crap! It's not on the list.
Is there another one we missed?
um,
No, you got to
no,
go with
I
on the list. You can't go off the list.
okay, fine. Whatever is on the list, I would have to say X-Men.
You know, I was like this close to picking. Actually, I'm like, I really like that show too.
I know that I would watch it religiously
Oh,
every single weekend. And for me, that was my cartoon not to miss. I remember
I have to
when
agree with you. Yeah.
X-Men got so popular, they did the Generation X movie made for TV.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble and I got grounded and
For
I could
what?
not. Oh, I can't remember what I did. What didn't I do when I was younger? But my parents said I was grounded and I could not watch it. So I went so many years because back in the day we didn't have TiVo.
Oh yeah.
We
There's
could go,
going back and watching your favorite show again. None of that. It's gone. It's gone
yeah.
forever.
And then when I eventually got to see it, I'm like, I really didn't miss much.
But you remember when you missed a show, you would just lose it because you're like, it's gone forever.
Uh,
I'll never ever see it again. Like from the depths, it's like the Titanic sinking here. You'll never see it again for a long time. It's like it was the end of the world for some of us, was it not?
Well, yeah, especially the millionaires who went on that submarine to go look at the
Okay,
Titanic.
okay.
But no, seriously, it was like when you're a kid, everything's dramatized so much. And when you didn't get to see that episode, you're like, yeah, like you said, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Honestly, kids nowadays don't know how good they have it. They really do not.
The choice to pick what you want to watch when you want to watch it is just was
Oh,
unheard of
yeah.
when we were kids.
And
Darce,
even, oh, sorry.
sorry, Darce said he's 35, so he's only 15 years younger than you, Chris. Um,
You mean 5. Your dyslexia is showing.
isn't that letters, not numbers? Darce says, "Can I have a tie for it? You can have whatever you want, man. Have your bowl of cereal right here, buddy. Yeah, you can let us know a couple of your list favorites. I love reading that stuff when people give their opinions on their shows. Okay, so X-Men, that's a great pick. I regret not picking that, but I have to go with something I grew up with first.
Yeah.
Transformers came out first for me, right? So I've got to go with that. Another honorable mention for me would be He-Man, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about Shira yet?
No, and that's who I was
That's
gonna say, but
that's
that's
gonna
for
come up.
next season.
Yes, that's gonna be a good episode because I like it a lot, and so do you. You really like it a lot, and it'll be a good episode. I think next season we'll do that
Yeah.
for sure. Uh, Dar says the X-Men and Scooby Doo. Look at that.
Nice.
I guess opposites of each other, but great in their own ways.
I like that mix though. I love how
Yeah,
you have the cartoon Scooby Doo, which was like fictionally real characters, and then you got X-Men, which are mutant superpower
yeah,
heroes. So that's a great tie between X-Men and Scooby Doo. Nice one.
yeah. Darth has a wide color palette of what he likes, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say, in my opinion, 90% of the stuff that's on our list that we did this season, I really enjoyed, and the ones that didn't, the 10% I didn't watch, I still appreciate them. Right, they're on
Yeah.
their list for a reason because they've done something unique and fun, and grew a fan base. All of these shows, even the small stuff like King Arthur, they've got a niche fan base of people that love them,
Yeah.
and you know, we did a variety of shows from huge shows to small, lesser known shows because we want to shed light on these shows that a lot of people liked when they were kids or when they're, teenagers. But that's why we do this show. We want to kind of bring light to some of these shows. And if you want, you can go check them out yourselves and see, some of them don't hold up, but hey, listen, what do you expect, right? From the 80s and 90s and early 2000s? Like, technology wasn't as advanced as it is now, but still the storylines are good, the characters are great, and a lot of people even collect these actually. Like, there's people that are collecting GI Joe right now, new GI Joe collectors, that probably didn't watch a whole lot of GI Joe when they were a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go check it out because then you'll see where your characters are based from, right? Why they were made. So
And that's that's one of the things that I love about our childhood is because we had cartoons and we had the toys that represented that. And even though, for example, if you did not watch GI Joe and you were a kid and you were out in a toy aisle and you came across those figures, they came with cool little accessories and they were decked out in army wear.
hmm,
That would capture a kid's attention. They get it, and then it would bring a new fan to GI Joe. Again, like you said, I might, from the list that we have, Inspector Gadget's on there. I didn't watch it religiously, but I would watch it here and there, and it was
hmm.
great because there was comedy mixed in there. So
My grandfather used to put that on for us because he thought it was safe. He thought it was didn't promote violence. I'm like, do you see what happens to him? There's stuff coming out of his head.
Mayor Quimby gets blown up every single episode. That's safe, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So my grandfather used to put that on. That's how I got introduced to the show. I had no idea the show existed. I'm like, I don't care. I want Transformers. I don't care about any of this. He's like, no, sit down and watch this. I'm like, all right, fine. Because either that or you cut the grass. I'm like, I'll watch this show. Oh, look at Darth going back. Hold up, DuckTales history. Dude, I love DuckTales too. Like, oh, it's so hard. This list is so fire. Like, we killed it in season one. Honestly, we
Uh,
did a great job. I'm proud of this show. This is the little show that could. I'm proud of this show because we are bringing something awesome back to the fold on a Saturday morning. You can't get more nostalgic than that, right?
no.
So I'm proud of this little show. I hope it grows. If you're watching this for the first time, come across our show, this is the little show that can, not could, would. This is a show that will bring you amazing nostalgic moments from not just animation. We're going to get into a whole bunch of other stuff next season that's just going to set us up to even do bigger and better things. And we just want you to come by, subscribe, hit the like button, show us some love. 2 clicks of buttons makes a big day for us. And if you want, come watch us live, talk to us, give us your opinions, give your thoughts, get nerdy nostalgic with us. I'm cool with that. But if you can't make it in the mornings because you got family or things to do, like groceries, groceries, I just
Uh,
can't. But if you
life.
can, watch us on the replay and let us know your thoughts again in the comments below. Hit the like button. That really helps us out because it sends a little beacon out to the universe of YouTube saying, hey, watch me, watch me, watch me. So, yeah.
And it lets us know that you actually like us too.
We want to tailor
As
the show as much as possible to you, the viewers, right?
yeah,
We want to make sure that you're welcomed here. This is a safe space for nostalgia. We want to have that for everybody. Everybody's welcome to give their opinions. Your opinions, whether they be in line with us or not, we're still gonna respect it and have fun and just enjoy this. This is why me and Chris do this. We enjoy it. We enjoy doing this. It's fun to go back and talk about our childhood shows that we watched. It's just fun. It's good times, right? So enough of me trying to prompt the show up. Let's get back to this.
why don't you just drip oil all over yourself as you're
Who says I haven't? Who said
explaining?
I haven't?
Yeah.
Look at this glow doesn't happen by itself, Chris.
You're like click and like. I'm
As someone
like,
said yesterday, I'm a golden bronze man. I had a friend of mine say that to me yesterday.
oh, your wife is so sweet.
I said a friend. Okay, me and my wife were bitter enemies. um, if you had to pick a show to introduce to somebody, let's say they never watched any of these on the list,
Yeah.
what show are you picking
Ooh.
to ease
There's-
them in?
Can't you just use spit? No. Uh, depends on the factors. But you know what? I really relate with X-Men because it touches on so many things.
Mhm.
Diversity. There's hate in the world, but there is a way to overcome it and don't let it take over, and trying to help other people who you might find you have something in common with. There's a lot of meaning in X-Men that I love. So that would definitely be one of the shows that I would introduce.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I have a tie here, and I can't pick between the two, and they're so opposite of each other. So I'm gonna mention both. If I'm introducing in this list, and we're talking about this list specifically.
No, it's one. I only got to choose one.
Oh,
I'm making it tough for you. It's only one.
okay.
You cannot.
Okay.
do two.
Okay. I'm gonna pick one. If I had to pick a show from this list to introduce to somebody so they can get into this nostalgia, I'm gonna go with DuckTales. I think it's a fun show. The song is so catchy. Remember when we playing it? We're both in the background going like that. Woo! I think it's a fun show. It's an adventure show. It's comedy. Who doesn't love comedy? Very few people don't like comedy, but a lot of people love comedy. I think this is a great entry point to somebody to like if I like my kids, they're not even close to the generation I grew up in, but in this list, I would introduce that show to them to show us. Dart says I would introduce I would introduce Scooby Doo to a friend that has only seen the movies or the newer Scooby Doo. Yes, because the original was so darn good. The animation is old, but the storyline was so good, right?
But the animation back then is sometimes better than the animation that we have now. So I
Yeah,
don't get
I'm worried about
that.
the X-Men 97 here. I'm a little concerned about the animation.
You know what? I'm not, because of
No?
what we've seen so far.
Okay.
I think they're going to try and keep it to the original, but not as bad as it got in the final season, which was so effing terrible. It's not even funny.
We should do? We should do an episodic breakdown of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we do bi-weekly, so we could do 2 episodes at once. That would be a great segment in our show.
Mm-hmm.
Would dedicate maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes to that, half our show
Yeah.
towards that. That'd be really good because it ties back into our nostalgia. We could even compare it.
I am so down for that.
I knew you would be.
Because, with all the leaks that we're getting from the Comic-Con toy shows, did you seen that Hasbro is doing the Rogue, Gambit,
Yeah, the
Wolverine,
retro packaging,
Storm?
yeah. I'm buying it
It's
for a friend
sure.
in case my wife watches this. Darth, sorry to cut you off here. Darth says from this list, is Scooby Doo the oldest? Yes, Scooby Doo is the oldest. I believe 1970s. I could be totally wrong. It could be 60s, late 60s. I can't remember. I have to go back and check.
It was
It might have
definitely
been
the
60s.
70s.
It was 70s? I thought it was maybe like late
70s.
60s. Okay. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
by far the oldest. I think the next one on the list is, I'm going to have to say, He-Man probably. No. Transformers, I'm thinking. Yes. Transformers by a couple of years, or He-Man. They're
They
very
were
close, the two of
both
them.
like 82.
Are you looking it up right now?
81, 82.
Do you mind looking it up?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm thinking He-Man or Transformers would be probably next in terms of what is the oldest. Yeah. And then it's from there. It's just like Turtles. Turtles is pretty close too. Turtles in the 80s as well.
1984 for Transformers.
He-Man, what is it? 80. What would He-Man be at? 1983?
He-Man is. Give me 1 minute. He-Man 1981. First
Ooh,
appearance.
there it is. He-Man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so He-Man would be your second oldest on the list. Man, 81. I was 1 years old.
I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, stop lying.
No, 1983.
I know. That's crazy.
My gosh.
That's crazy. That's how long the reruns have been going on for. I got introduced to it in late 80s.
And even now, it's still so popular. So, for the people who are watching, I've said it before, if you want to check out some of these shows that we're talking about, it's not sponsored, but I do watch a lot of it. Tubi.
Yes.
TUBI is completely free. They got old episodes of G.I. Joe, Gemini holograms.
That's what holograms. Yes, I kind of
Yeah.
keep reminding myself.
Yes. And check them out. They even have Reboot on there. So, Darth, you can check out Reboot if you want to.
Don't blame us if the animation doesn't hold up. We're just saying go check it out.
Yeah, you don't even have to watch all of it. I even go on there to watch the opening numbers of just some of the cartoons and shows that,
Of course, yeah.
So
Why
good.
we had Reboot on the list, I also want to mention, is It was groundbreaking for its time. Computer generated, you know, animation. It was groundbreaking. This company started off something that a lot of other companies like DreamWorks, Illumination, these companies all fed off this technology and blossomed into great movies like Toy Story, etc. So this was a starting point for computer generated type of animation, right?
And it was produced in Vancouver,
Yeah,
BC.
our hometown. And the crazy thing about it was it was inside a computer mainframe. That was the storyline. It's insane. Like that's why the show is just it's iconic for its time,
The
right?
one thing that I never understood about the show is every time a game would be uploaded into the computer, why does it destroy the computer if we win as the user? Like, I never understood that.
I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have
Anyways,
to talk to the mainframe experts like
yeah.
Michael. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Beast Wars come off this company as well?
Came out of the same company, and I think it was maybe after the first season of Reboot because their animation was the same,
Mm-hmm.
and then it eventually got better in the second season. So when Reboot got better, Beast Wars got better in the
Yeah,
animation.
yeah. So yeah, this company, this show started off something big, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, watch it just because of the fact that it's groundbreaking in terms of bringing new technology to animation world.
Yeah.
That's why this show is so important because they took a leap and it worked. Like it started off something massive, right? So
Yeah. And this is at the time when even internet was still in its like young age where
mm-hmm.
it was dial up, but then they talk about it. They talk about the web, which they go to in the later season. And, you know, the one thing that is really great about this show is it has like different parodies of games that you've already played, movies. There's a
Mm-hmm.
reference to Evil Dead again in the later seasons. So it's really good. They hit on nostalgia as well. So definitely a good cartoon to go check out.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a list of. Actually, you know what? Give me your top three funniest shows from here that you absolutely love because it's funny.
Oh my god. It would have to be
I don't. When I say funny, I don't mean now because all of it is pretty funny now. But I mean
yeah.
when you're as a kid, your go to for comedy, your top three, and it can be a
Okay.
weird comedy relief. It doesn't have to be actual comedy.
The out of the list, the first thing that brings comedy would be Inspector Gadget because
Okay,
that one did has have some funny.
that's your number one on the list. Top three.
Yeah, because
Okay,
any of the other ones, it's like global warming isn't funny, so I can't pick Captain Planet.
but no, there's others on the list that's funny too. So
No,
I've
I
got my
know.
three. I've got my three.
Uh, Gummy bears,
That's two. Okay.
especially when they would make the bouncing noises, and then I would have to say Ducktales.
All right. Okay. So that's your three in order. I'm surprised by the order. Mine
Why?
is
What were
I
you?
I have the same three, but the order is different. I have Inspector Gadget as number three. I have Gummy Bears at two, and I have Ducktales as one. I'm the complete opposite of what your list was, but we have those are our three. Those are our three in this list.
It's funny because I think it's because even though I watched Ducktales, I also did watch Inspector Gadget, and I probably seen more episodes of Inspector
Mm,
Gadget.
yeah,
So
that helps.
I like the we had the same choices,
Yeah, yeah.
but the order, yeah.
Yeah, Dar says DuckTales is number 3 on his list. What is your other 2 on the list in terms of funny? I mean, if you talk about it now, I would have He-Man in there just because it's so goofy. Like, they're running
Like,
around like it's so goofy.
if Prince Adam had your hair, like the wig that you wore, it would be
What
great.
wig? What are you talking about? That was no natural hair.
Sure.
He's
Scooby Doo
Inspector
one.
Gadget at number 2 for him, and Scooby Doo at number 1. Okay, yeah. Yes,
Zoinks!
Scooby's next. Uh, that's a good list. I like that list. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, He-Man. I watch it now, and I chuckle so much. I was just like, this is what I watched.
I feel like the only character that brought a lot of comedy to that cartoon, which is probably why it wasn't on my list. But now that I think of it, is Skeletor.
That meme of him running away is legendary.
Until next time.
We meet again, He-Man.
Or in the cartoon, he's like, "You boob," He was definitely the comedic relief of that entire show.
When he used to take the strip out of his henchman, it was so funny. It's just so funny. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
He definitely was full of calcium.
Oh, terrible.
Okay, let's go with the big boy here. Your favorite action-packed show. The one that got you up in the morning. And I don't mean, you know what I mean. The one that just like, hey, I can't wait for this action-packed show. Give me your top 3.
Top 3? Okay, so...
Garth, give me your top 3 as well.
Yes.
Action-packed.
Okay, top 3. My number 3 would have to be... Let's go with... Reboot.
Reboot. Okay.
Wait, no. Hold on.
I'll go with mine. You want me to do mine first?
You go first.
Okay, give you your time to think. You better start thinking your list here. Okay, mine. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go with Transformers number 3. I can't believe it's at 3. That's crazy. Number 2, G.I. Joe. And number 1, X-Men. That's my 3 right there. That is 3 high-octane, really manly TV shows.
God.
There is a lot of testosterone in these shows. Right? I mean, come on. You got cars. You got grizzled, oiled up men with big bulging muscles. And then you also have mutants and beautiful babes. I mean, that is guy shows all day long. Wow. Sprinkled in with a little bit of happiness. He has Darth has number 3 TMNT. Okay, that's an honorable mention for me. Okay, you got your list now, Chris?
I do.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so I did watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That one I watched quite often, so that was an action pack. That would be number 3. Number 2 would be Reboot, which I'd always have to watch. It was more so action adventure. And then definitely X-Men would be my number 1.
That's a good list, yeah. It's crazy. X-Men is just like, man, we're definitely going to go, like next year, we're also going to get into some of these shows that we talked about. That doesn't mean we're not going to talk about these shows ever again. We're going to actually go back into some of these shows and go pick a specific episode. And we're going to break down that episode. So these shows are not going anywhere. This is just a tip of the iceberg for what we want to do with this show. We're definitely going to dive into these shows and really talk about some of the iconic episodes that just blew our minds away when we were kids. We're like, wow.
And also, they'll be pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Trust me,
want to
there's some good
yeah, we want to stir the
episodes.
pot a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like jaw-dropping moments, one of my favorites moments from X-Men was when Juggernaut was trying to punch Gladiator. Like he runs up to him and just punches Gladiator. Gladiator doesn't even move, doesn't even flinch, and then he picks up Juggernaut and throws him across the water. My mouth dropped when I saw that. I was like, because Juggernaut, nobody could stop the Juggernaut, right? It was
No.
insane. Like X-Men can only slow him down. They can never stop him. Even the entire team couldn't do it. So when you have this one guy just standing there like Gladiator and he just gut punches him right in the stomach and he just doesn't even move, I was just like, "Oh, what? Who are you?" Like I was in disbelief. I remember that moment so vividly. I was in disbelief. That was the Phoenix Saga run,
Yeah.
and I was in disbelief. And then they took it up another notch. They had Phoenix just basically toss Gladiator around like he was a nobody. So just think about the levels of power that we got introduced to. It was insanity. It was insane.
Why do you think Dark Phoenix is like my favorite
Yeah,
character?
it's it was insane the level of power that we got introduced to.
Yeah.
I was just blown away. I was like, this was probably the best run X-Men had. It was just so good. Yeah, see, he just knows it. That's a crazy scene when Gladiator tosses him like a plush toy. Absolutely, man. I remember when Hasbro announced the Gladiator figure, I was like, this I have to get. I need to get this figure. I should do that one day, reenact that moment on my background here. Have Juggernaut trying to punch him and he just stands there and smiles.
Tee Do it again.
Tickle me. um yeah, I mean this is there anything else we want to bring up here? I'm just trying to think what else we could have brought up. Do you have any thoughts on what you want to bring up?
The one thing I don't think I got to talk about because I was having computer issues was let's go back to Gem and the holograms. We talked
Okay.
about the cartoon. I wanted to touch on the movie, which, it was a terrible, terrible
You
movie.
did touch on it a little bit,
And,
yeah.
that's as much as we love Hasbro for having these shows and creating action figures that we love, don't let them make movies. They're not good at it.
They're
Um,
they're just I don't know what it is, man. Like they want to make movies to sell their product, but they don't put the money into the movie budget.
no, they don't, because the Gemini Holograms movie, it was, the whole aspect that made this cartoon great was a hologram would be projected on Jerica to become Gem. And all they did in a movie was add a big freaking triangle pink makeup to her face and put on a wig. And then they had this little robot that projected tiny little holograms. It was terrible.
It was a
And
tiny budget.
yeah, and the worst thing was at the end when Erica Raymond, because they turned Eric into a female, which isn't a bad thing. She was defeated out of the music company and she went to seek out the Misfits. And right at the end of the movie, we had Kesha, who was dressed up as Pizzazz. She looked effing amazing. And then they had the three other characters, which would have led into a second movie, but we're not going to get it because they
No.
completely effed up the entire movie.
This is
So,
what we kind of touched on this, like, is when companies go and meddle with iconic moments,
yeah.
right? They go and mess up with hello. Somebody said hello, so I want to say hello.
Hello.
Bush _18. Hello. But this is what I was talking about, like iconic moments or iconic shows. People go and change and meddle with it, and the fan base will always be upset. They'll always get triggered because they don't like when you take their iconic characters or storylines and do a 180 on it. They hate that. Why would you even entertain that? I just don't get that. right? I don't get that with companies. They're like, let's reinvent the wheel.
You
No, you
know,
don't need to. Just
I
do the episodes that we watch. We'll love it.
yeah, like I get that they'll change some things. I get that. That's We'll always have a slight change to a storyline from
But
a
the core
comic book
can't
or
change.
cartoon. No, and it's like, the way she became Gem in a cartoon was perfectly fine. Why did they have to go out there and create it as like a social media star? Like, that's how she became popular, is through freaking YouTube. And like, you didn't have to do that. You're taking a storyline and completely rewriting it. And you know what? It's not even Gem in a Holograms movie. It's just Justin Bieber in a fucking pink wig. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
You get one of those, it's a PG-13 show.
Yeah. So it's just like, stop ruining something that has good bones to it.
Yeah.
If you have to change a little bit of the story, but don't change the aspect of why people are going to go and watch it.
Yeah.
How awesome would it have been if Synergy was in there and all of a sudden you get these cool holograms covering her body to change her into Gem,
Darth goes, okay, I gotta go see the gladiator scene. I'll be back. Yes, that scene is awesome.
Yeah.
It's available on YouTube, guaranteed.
But yeah, that was my biggest issue with Gemina Holograms. It was a great show. There was some meaning to it, but there's also some things which we will touch on. Some very
controversial, yeah.
Oh,
this rant was brought to you by nobody for Chris. We're still looking for sponsors, people. Lots of sponsors. Come, cereal companies. General Mills, where are you at, man? Come on.
I know. Like, come on.
Jeez.
We talk about cereal and cartoons.
Speaking of cereals, my wife got this really cool pajama of Fruit Loops. It's so cool. Toucan Sam, Fruit Loops. I was like, where'd you get that? Why didn't you give it to me?
Okay, so talking about Fruit Loops, that's my least favorite cereal.
What?
Yeah.
We're doing a whole segment on cereal, I'm telling you right now.
You know what? We should. We really should.
We're definitely doing a segment on cereals next season. Oh, man, I can't wait because you're so wrong about Fruit Loops. It was a nutritional balanced breakfast. No, it was all naturally flavored, Chris.
It's
fruits
a
come
part.
out like that.
It's a slight part of your balanced breakfast. But did you know, though, with fruit? You know what? I'm gonna save it. It's an interesting fact. So you guys have.
And
you
don't
guys
you
have
dare
to come
say
back
anything
and
about
see us next
Flintstones
season.
Fruity Pebbles either.
No, those are probably my favorite.
The chocolate one is my favorite.
I freaking love the fruity ones because it goes in fruit colors and it comes out green. And on that note,
for a moment, I thought you were talking about yourself here, Chris. What's going on here?
Yeah.
We're not gonna break out the share song. We're not doing that.
We did that last episode.
Yes, we did. And if you're wondering what we're talking about, go check out the last episode of Mighty Mornings, episode 13. It was a hoot. All right, man. So we're at that 1 hour mark. Naturally, we want to say to everybody, have a good summer. Enjoy the summer. Get out there. Eat your bowl of cereals. Watch a show in the morning. And then get out there. Enjoy the sun. Just like your favorite shows, they take a break in the summer. And we'll be right back for the fall season. We're going to be bad. We're going to be crazy. We're going to be goofy. We're going to have fun. It's going to be an awesome season 2. I can't wait. We have a lot of things that we're planning. We're going to be cooking up. And we might have a guest or two here on once in a while. We don't know. We'll see what we'll do. We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what payroll says about having a third person.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, definitely. We'll continue doing cool prizes. We'll talk about some prizes to give away during the fall. I mean, who doesn't want to get a prize during Christmas time too, right? So, and then we'll talk about cereal, right? So we'll definitely do that. Chris, it's been a pleasure. It's been awesome. Thank you for everybody that watches our show here.
Yes.
And go hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Tell your kids, hey, look, I used to watch this stuff. Why don't you go watch the show so you can be informed on what I watched as a kid? And as well, for all the people that are, of the age around me and Chris, come watch the show. Get the nostalgic feel into you. Uh, yeah, that's all I got to say. Anything else you want to add, Chris, before we sign off for today and the summer?
I just want to say a big thanks to Darth today. He is
Yeah.
so interactive. We love that. When we kind of
Darth
go
is a
blank
regular,
on,
man. He's on all of our
I
shows.
know.
He's a great soldier. He's awesome.
So yeah, just a big thank you to everyone who watches us. I cannot wait until next season. And I also cannot wait to try and sleep in on the Saturdays. Try.
We can't. It's in our DNA to get up early.
I know. It's not crazy.
All right, everybody. You guys have a great summer. Have a great mighty morning throughout the summer, and be ready to come back in September and watch our show. We had a blast doing this season 1. Go back and watch all of our episodes. We had a blast. So many great episodes. So much nostalgia. Go check them out. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Visit us on social media and let us know, what do you want to see in season 2? We'll definitely want to read your feedback, and we're going to actually read some of that stuff out and incorporate some of that and give you thanks for that. All right. Say bye, Chris.
Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody. Have a